My history with Charlie is rather unusual and somewhat serendipitous. I had been producing a terrific French artist named Mehdi, who is one of these unique multi-instrumentalists, singer, writer, etc. And he was signed and is signed to a terrific French label called Atmosphérique. And the owner of that label, Marc Tonon, had kind of apprised me as we were making Mehdi's album of this terrific English artist, Charlie Winston, whom he licensed for the French territory from Real World, Peter Gabriel's label. And the more I was working with Mehdi, I discovered, number one, Mehdi was in fact Charlie's drummer. Number two, they had a great camaraderie. And then I became more and more familiar with Charlie's previous album, which was terrific, which had had tremendous success in France and Benelux and other territories. And I found myself very drawn to his material. It demonstrated great musicality and a kind of lack of inhibition that I'm very drawn to. So one day, Mark sent me some songs, and I suspected very innocently, asked if I had any producer ideas for Charlie. I gave him some names and some contacts, and then he asked me if I had any thoughts about 3 songs he had sent me to forward to other producers. So I innocently gave a rather detailed response to those 3 songs, and somehow that turned into a dialogue that ensued between me and Charlie, then me and Mark, then me and Peter Gabriel and Amanda and Mike Large at Real World, and it rather organically turned into a really good musical and kind of philosophical meeting of the minds, where I believe all parties felt this could be a really good combination. And I feel very fortunate that that's the case. There's nothing more difficult than a sophomore record, especially a record that follows tremendous success, as Charlie enjoyed with his first record. And you know, an artist wants to be at once respectful of where he's been and what people have responded to, but at the same time able to express himself or herself in a new and more mature way. So I would say that this record is perhaps a little less innocent than the first. You know, Charlie has toured the world. He's sold a lot of records. He's played for hundreds of thousands of people. But what I like so much about him is he approaches songwriting in a very pure state. He doesn't write with the thought of to whom might this appeal or what might people think of this. It's real personal expression. So from that standpoint, I would describe this album as similar to the previous one. The first one might have been a little more acoustic or a little more stripped down, but we have made an attempt to continue a thread from the first to the second album. And I think what really distinguishes this album is just the superior songwriting. These are great songs, some of which I really think are indelible and will challenge other writers when they hear them because they're so well written.